The Lions are 11 days away from a decision that could define whether we're legitimate Super Bowl contenders or just another playoff team that flames out in January. And the answer might be sitting on a divisional rival's bench right now waiting for someone to rescue his career. Welcome to Lions News Fan Report, your #1 destination for breaking updates, comprehensive analysis, and insider perspectives on every move shaping the Detroit Lions championship pursuit. This is where you get daily information on roster decisions, trade scenarios, strategic acquisitions, and the developments that separate pretenders from true contenders in this league. Today I'm breaking down a potential move that addresses our most vulnerable position group, while simultaneously exploiting a divisional rival's dysfunction, an opportunity that's emerged in the past 72 hours and could give us the exact piece we need to protect Jared Goff through a deep playoff run. The Detroit Lions are sitting pretty at 10 wins and 2 losses through 12 games, the best record in the NFC and a legitimate contender for home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That record reflects elite quarterback play from Goff, explosive offensive weapons led by Amon-Ra St. Brown, and a defense that's exceeded all expectations under Aaron Glenn's leadership. We're winning games in multiple ways. We're executing in critical moments, and we're playing with the confidence of a team that believes it can beat anyone. But championship-caliber organizations don't rest on their current success. They identify weaknesses before opponents can exploit them, and they make the moves necessary to eliminate any vulnerability that could derail a Super Bowl run. Let me be direct about the one area of concern that keeps me up at night as we approach the trade deadline on November 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Our offensive line, while functional in most games, has shown cracks that worry me when I think about facing elite defensive fronts in January football. We've dealt with injuries that disrupted continuity, we've seen inconsistent performance from certain positions, and we've watched Goff take hits that a truly elite offensive line would prevent. Those issues haven't cost us wins yet because Goff is processing quickly and our skill players are making plays, but playoff football is different. One sack at the wrong time, one pressure that forces a bad throw, one missed block that allows a strip sack, and suddenly we're watching another team celebrate on our field. The Lions' current offensive line situation requires honest evaluation rather than blind optimism. Taylor Decker has been solid at left tackle when healthy, providing veteran leadership and reliable pass protection on Goff's blind side. Frank Ragnow remains one of the best centers in football, anchoring the interior with intelligence and physicality. But beyond those two proven commodities, we have question marks that become glaring when you consider the competition we'll face in the playoffs. Depth is particularly concerning because offensive line injuries are inevitable over a 17-game season plus playoffs, and losing a starter without a proven replacement ready to step in seamlessly can devastate an offense. Brad Holmes and his personnel department understand this reality completely. The Lions have been aggressively monitoring the offensive line market leading up to the trade deadline, evaluating which players might become available and which situations could create opportunities for Detroit to strike. Holmes has proven repeatedly that he's willing to be aggressive when the right opportunity presents itself, whether that's trading up in the draft for impact players or making mid-season acquisitions that address immediate needs. This isn't a general manager who sits passively hoping things work out. This is someone who identifies problems and attacks them with calculated aggression. The trade deadline landscape across the NFL creates fascinating opportunities for teams willing to be creative and decisive. Struggling franchises with veteran players in contract years face difficult decisions about whether to hold those assets or convert them into draft capital that serves their rebuilding timelines better. Teams that expected to compete but find themselves eliminated from playoff contention by early November must decide if they're sellers or if they're delusional enough to believe they can turn things around. And most importantly for the Lions, divisional rivals experiencing roster dysfunction might have players available who know our schemes, understand our division, and can contribute immediately without extensive integration time. The Chicago Bears are experiencing the kind of organizational chaos that creates trade opportunities for smart teams like Detroit. Chicago sits at 4 wins and 8 losses through 12 games, eliminated from realistic playoff contention, and facing serious questions about coaching, quarterback play, and overall roster construction. That record doesn't reflect the talent level on their roster, it reflects dysfunction and underperformance across multiple areas. When teams fall apart like Chicago has, veterans start questioning their futures, coaches make personnel changes to shake things up, and suddenly players who were considered untouchable become available if the price is right. One specific situation in Chicago has caught the attention of multiple contending teams, including the Lions, over the past week. The Bears made a surprising roster decision that relegated a multi-year starting offensive lineman to a bench role, replacing him with a younger player in what appears to be either a performance-based demotion or an attempt to showcase younger talent with an eye toward next season. This player isn't some fringe roster guy who was barely holding a starting job. This is someone who has started multiple seasons for Chicago and has experience protecting quarterbacks in our division. The fact that he's now watching from the sideline while Chicago's offensive line continues to struggle suggests something changed in the coaching staff's evaluation or in the player's relationship with the organization. Braxton Jones has been the Chicago Bears' starting left tackle for the past several seasons, providing exactly the kind of experience and reliability that teams need at that critical position. The 25-year-old has protected quarterbacks in the NFC North for years, understanding the division's defensive schemes and the specific challenges that Lions opponents present. Jones has started games against elite pass rushers, he's played in hostile environments, and he's shown the technical skill set required to survive at left tackle in today's NFL. These aren't insignificant credentials. This is a player who's proven he belongs as an NFL starter. But this season has been complicated for Jones in ways that have nothing to do with his talent level or his ability to play football. An ankle injury plagued him for much of the early season, limiting his mobility and effectiveness while he tried to play through discomfort. Those injury issues affected his performance on the field, creating situations where he struggled against power rushers who could exploit his reduced lateral movement. Chicago's coaching staff, facing pressure to win games and frustrated by offensive line inconsistencies, made the decision to bench Jones in favor of Theo Benedette, a move that shocked many observers who considered Jones a foundational piece of their offensive line. Now Jones finds himself in that uncomfortable position where a proven starter is sitting on the bench watching a younger player get his opportunities. He's healthy now, fully recovered from the ankle issues that hampered him earlier in the season, but he's not playing. He's in a contract year, meaning his performance this season directly impacts his earning potential in free agency next offseason. And he's watching his team lose games while he sits powerless to help from the sideline. That combination of factors creates the perfect storm for a trade candidate, a player who wants out, a team that might be willing to move him, and a market of contenders who need exactly what he provides. The statistical profile on Jones reveals exactly why contending teams like the Lions should be interested. In 6 games played this season before his benching, Jones posted a pass block win rate of 90.2%, which ranks him as a lower-tier starter, but absolutely someone who can protect a quarterback effectively. That number indicates Jones wins his individual matchup on pass plays more than 9 times out of 10, giving the quarterback a clean pocket to operate from. For a Lions offense built around Goff's quick processing and accurate passing, having a left tackle who can consistently win his blocks is exactly what we need to maximize our offensive potential. Jones brings additional value beyond just his statistical profile. He's an easy mover with the foot speed to redirect in pass protection, crucial for handling speed rushers who try to beat tackles around the edge. His experience playing in the NFC North means he's already familiar with the defensive schemes and personnel that Detroit faces 8 times per season when playing division games. There's no learning curve about what Aiden Hutchinson does on the other side in practice, no adjustment period to understanding how Minnesota or Green Bay attacks offensive lines. Jones has been there, he knows it, and he can contribute immediately. The fit for Detroit makes too much sense to ignore when you analyze it from every angle. We need offensive line depth desperately. Jones provides exactly that with starting experience. We need someone who can step in immediately if injuries strike. Jones has proven he can play meaningful snaps without extensive preparation time. We need a player who understands divisional football and doesn't require months of integration. Jones has been competing in the NFC North his entire career. And perhaps most importantly, we need someone hungry to prove doubters wrong and desperate for an opportunity to showcase his value in a winning environment. Jones checks every single box. The trade compensation required to acquire Jones shouldn't be prohibitive for a team like Detroit that's trying to win now. He's in a contract year with no long-term financial commitment required beyond this season, meaning we're not taking on a burdensome contract that limits future flexibility. Chicago knows they've mismanaged this situation by benching a capable starter, reducing their leverage in trade negotiations. And the Bears are eliminated from playoff contention, making draft picks more valuable to them than a player they've already decided isn't part of their immediate plans. A late-round pick, possibly a 6th or 7th rounder, might be enough to get a deal done that benefits both organizations. From Jones's perspective, coming to Detroit represents the perfect opportunity to salvage his contract year and rebuild his market value. What would you be willing to give up in trade compensation to acquire Jones? And how confident are you that our offensive line, as currently constructed, can protect Goff through a deep playoff run? Drop your detailed opinions in the comments below, because this conversation matters for how we evaluate our championship chances. If this breakdown gave you real insight into the Braxton Jones situation and what it means for the Lions Super Bowl pursuit, make sure you're subscribed to Lions News Fan Report and hit that notification bell. I bring you daily analysis on every potential trade, every roster move, and every development that impacts our path to a championship. This is where you get informed perspectives backed by film study and league sources, not hot takes designed for clicks. Smash that like button, share with every Lions fan you know, and let's keep this critical conversation going as we approach the trade deadline. 1. Pride.